Welcome back to Niaga Spotlight with me, Tamina Kausji. Moving on to future affairs. Today we'll be looking at increasing Malaysia's female labour force participation rate, or LFPR. Now the week began with Labour Day, and the female labour force participation rate, LFPR, is receiving funding as governments globally and regionally strive to accelerate economic recovery in 2023 and beyond. Now, Japan's $1.4 trillion government pension investment fund, the world's largest, has allocated 500 billion yen or 3.77 billion USD to an index of Japanese companies that do better on gender diversity. This unprecedented attempt to bolster Japan's ranking for diverse workplaces comes in hot after the World Economic Forum, WEF's Global Gender Gap Report 2022. Japan currently ranks 116 out of 148 countries. Malaysia, meanwhile, comes in at a very encouraging 103 over 148, while there's still room for improving the roughly 27% labour force participation rate gap between Malaysian women, who make up 55% roughly of our LFPR, and men, who make up 82% of Malaysia's LFPR. So this historical gap is primarily due to gendered roles and women's burden of unpaid care work. Joining us online now to discuss female labour force participation rates in Malaysia is Yang Berusaha Chua, Deputy Secretary General Strategic, Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development. Chua, good morning. Thank you so much for making time to join us. Let's get started off. Now, if all economic barriers are removed for women in Malaysia, income per capita could grow by 26.2%. This implies an average annual income gain of roughly 9,400 ringgit, and this figure is according to the World Bank's 2019 Breaking Barriers Malaysia report. Mr. Chua, what are some frameworks to address this from your side?
Tamina, before we get into the framework, when World Bank did their report in 2019, we were with them, and we cannot agree more with that report, which is if women's potential are being unleashed, the economic impact for Malaysia is going to be much higher. Yeah, as you know, females population in Malaysia is about 48.5%, and out of that, female get into the tertiary education is more than 60%, and this is not just about last year. Yeah, yes, in 2022 it was 61%, and actually it's beyond. In fact, it has more than 25 years showing the same trend until today. And what we're seeing is when women are doing well in education and they are not being given that kind of opportunity in the workforce. As you rightly pointed out just now, Tamina, women's workforce participation at the moment is only 55.6% as compared to male, which is 82%. Yeah, we have a gap of about 26%, and that is a big loss to the economy itself. Yeah, how can we unleash this potential? When we have trained them, the government has invested in female, and yet they are not contributing to the society. That is a loss to the country itself. Yeah. For that, the government is addressing this by adopting comprehensive strategies and measures to eliminate discriminatory stereotypes concerning the roles and responsibilities of women and men in the society. Yeah. There's three areas that I want to talk about on this framework that just now you have asked. First thing is on the legislative reforms. Yeah. Latest end of last year, we have just enacted this Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. Yeah. With that, we believe we are going to manage to create a more safer working environment for women. So with that, we hope if women are reluctant to get into the workforce because of harassment, sexual harassment, then that is the answer that we are providing from our end. And on top of that, late last year as well, we come up with this new concept of gender focal point, gender focal team. Yeah. Right now, we have appointed about 46 of all these gender focal point, gender focal team in all the ministries. We want to make sure that when government agencies making any decisions, gender lens are being adopted in their policies. Yeah, women's view are being taken into consideration to make sure that gender bias is not there. And last one that I want to talk about is, and this is our hope as well, on this childcare. Yeah, how can we make sure that childcare are affordable? And we're also talking about care industry. Yeah, how can we make sure that childcare is not just a business, but it is going to be a good business, and therefore, for those that involved in this unpaid for care work, they'll be the first one to be benefited from this whole care industry itself. And that's some of the things that government is doing at the moment, Tamina.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Chua, for setting the stage for the entire discussion. I'd like to go a little bit deeper into the last point that you mentioned about economic recovery and the intrinsic link back to, of course, childcare. Now, of course, economic recovery is often framed without specific female LFPR goals in mind. What are KPWKM's targets for increasing access to affordable childcare to close this gap and also accelerate economic recovery and growth, especially considering the fact that during the pandemic, lockdowns, etc., plenty of childcare centers actually did close down, which in turn had a blowback effect, resulting in many working mothers of young children unable to continue on with the workforce.
Okay, talking about this affordable childcare, Tamina. Well, it is quite, how should I put it? It is not easy to say what is affordable. Yeah, it can be quite subjective because it all depends on household's income, and especially if let's say we know on average Malaysians still have about 4 to 5 kids, and with that we're talking about childcare right now is about 500 ringgit in the market. So even if we have 5 or even 4, that is about 2,000. That the household need to pay. And therefore, to say that affordable childcare, it all depends on the income of household and how many kids we have. And those are all household decisions that need to be made. Yeah. But before I go further, let's talk about this. In the last budget that government announced, budget 2023, yeah, among other things that we had is we have this civil servant will receive 180 ringgit per month in childcare subsidies for households with income of 7,000 ringgit and below. Yeah, so this is one of the package that we have, and to encourage 180,000 women to return to the workforce after giving birth, 290 ringgit million in salary matching grants will be given out for the budget 2023. And another additional is we are talking about Taska OKU. Yeah, we are talking about how can we assist those households that have children with disability, and government has put in resources to build more Taska OKU so that you reduce the burdens of the household. But as I mentioned just now, when we talk about this care, women are not getting into workforce because they need to do this unpaid for care work. And how can we expand this whole industry itself? Besides government putting resources, we are talking about how to make this industry sexy in the future. Yeah, if care, and I'm not just talking about nursery, I'm not just talking about care for the children, I'm also talking about care for the OKU and care for the elderly. And if this is an industry that is making money and people start to invest, then whoever that is providing this service, they are going to benefit from the whole industry itself. Yeah. So in the longer term, we are talking about how to make this industry sexy, how to develop this industry, and our target is actually not just Malaysian, especially for senior citizens. If we can attract, for instance, Singaporean to send their older persons to Malaysia to care for, then it is affordable to them, and we can provide those kind of services that would expand the whole industry itself. Yeah, and I truly believe this is an industry that would benefit our economy first. Second is whoever that is providing all those care. That's all from me at the moment, Tamina.
I really appreciate the fact that you spoke about the intersectional challenges as well as the fact that KPWKM is focusing on OKU built task cards, and also additionally the fact that elderly care is another dimension of the care industry. Thank you. Moving along. Now, another area, Chua, with progress is recent legislative changes is parental leave. We now have an incremental increase to 7 days paid paternity leave for fathers and 98 days paid maternity leave for mothers since January of this year. But however, we've unfortunately already seen some backlash with certain employers preferring already not to hire women. What do you feel would be the long-term solution to addressing this?
Okay, thanks for the question. I think what you mentioned, Tamina, is real. Yeah, to have longer maternity leave, and now we have this paternity leave from Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development perspective. This is a good move. Yeah. We want to create that kind of bonding between children and parents. Yeah, but while we're doing this, there's a social cost that we need to pay. If you can recall, in the past Parliament session, there's another leave that is being mentioned, which is menstrual leave. Yeah, all these concepts, which is some are being applied in the Western society. We are not adopting it in Malaysia, which is, as I mentioned just now, Kementerian Wanita, we are very much supporting this issue itself. But what I want to say is, it is a reality that we cannot deny that all these measures, it somehow create that disadvantage for women. Yeah, when we talk about women has a longer maternity leave, and as I mentioned just now, if we are providing this menstrual leave as well, then they'll be they'll perceive in the labor market as they are less competitive. Yeah, because as if employer giving a choice to choose until male and female, definitely they'll try to avoid all those kind of leaves they need to provide to women. Yeah. So what I want to say is giving leave, creating bonding is good. But what I want to say is in the longer term, my wish is if our all this leave system can be more, I would say, that family friendly, yeah, which is all these leaves not necessarily need to provide to female only, but it's for parents. So that means even father can take up that some portion, and that's all understanding between the household itself. Female and male, whenever they need all those kind of leaves, and all those leaves are provided for them so that they can create that kind of bonding. Yeah, and which is, for me, this so-called family-friendly policy is very important because, for instance, when we talk about, again, if I refer back to childcare center is not only for mother. Childcare center is for children. And all these children belong to male and female. Both have that same responsibility. So when we are talking about how can we create a family, household environment where parents will be more involved in raising the children, where we share that same responsibility in the future. Yeah. So I have no good answer for the backlash because I think that's real. And giving a choice to employer, definitely that create that kind of disadvantage. But if in the long term we can have this policy more family friendly, where that leave can be shared between male and female, I believe that's going to be better, and that will create that kind of disadvantage to female only. That's all from me at the moment, Tamina.
Yeah. Thank you so much for framing that in the most intelligible way for the situation as it stands now, and most definitely more family-friendly overall parental leave policies is the way forward in the next 3 to 5 years, hopefully. Now, very briefly, if I could get a comment from you, Chua, about how, practically speaking, is it hoped that Malaysia's landmark Anti-Sexual Harassment Act will encourage women to come back into the workforce, and also whether employers, both public as well as private sector, are in any way, shape ready to actually inculcate this into their workplaces?
Well, Tamina, we have high hopes. Yeah, even my team, my minister, we have high hopes. And dealing with civil society, I know how hopeful they are as well on implementation of this new act. Yeah, that is all based on the hypothesis that we believe if women are being harassed, then they wouldn't be that enthusiastic to get into the workforce. And then therefore we came up with this particular new law, and we hope that we can create a safer environment, not only for women. Anti-sexual harassment is not only for women. Males are being sexually harassed as well, and we want to create a kind of just society where male and female can feel safe whenever they want to work. So that is the kind of hope that we have. And another thing that I wanted to say is this new act itself, it is not only in the working environment. It encompasses marketplace and community as well. So that means at the moment, even as I don't know if you know about this. Okay, Tamina, I know you know about this because you're very active in all these gender issues. In the Employment Act itself, there was provision on this sexual harassment, but that is only limiting to workplace. But this act itself, it encompasses all, and even for Sabah Sarawak, you'll be covered as well. Even Employment Act actually doesn't cover Sabah and Sarawak. This time around, it covers all states and all space. So that is also one of our we hope through this bill, and we are now in the process of operationalizing it. And the first step, I think, my minister has just announced enforcement of Section 2, and I forgot the section. But we're talking about this advocacy. We want to educate the public first before the tribunal is being set up, and before the people are being hired into the tribunal itself.
And if I could just very quickly intervene there, Chua. Now, let's go quickly into a small response from you about tackling pay equity, which of course is another agenda for Malaysia Madani in line with our ESG principle. We do have some DOSM data from Salaries and Wages 2021 report, which shows a slight differential between women and men's income. It's median income for women, 2,145 ringgit in 2021, and compared to, of course, 2,093 for men. So tell us a little bit about how perhaps is it time for Malaysia to have pay equity laws to bridge the gender pay gap?
Okay, Tamina, as you mentioned, yes, I think that's facts from DOSM. There's about a difference of 7.3% between male and female, and at the higher level, I believe it is going to be higher. Which is, I should put it. There's no other way to put it. This is not being fair. If regardless of our gender, if this is the kind of effort that we put in on the same job, everybody is supposed to get the same pay. That is a basic principle that we need to adhere to. But again, I would like to link this back to just now. Tamina asked me about this maternity leave. When in the system, we are providing all these kind of packages to female, and therefore I can understand why employer they are lack, when there's lack of interest to hire them, then definitely it go back to demand and supply. Then that means if they don't hire, then the price is going to go lower, kind of thing, and then things happen. But as I said, Kementerian Wanita will agree with gender equality. If jobs are being done, then it should be the same pay. So
yes,
we need to
give... Yang Berusaha Chua, that's all we unfortunately have time for, and we really appreciate your making time for us on Niaga Spotlight. So that, of course, was an insight for KBWKM strategies towards increasing female labour force participation rate, the potential engine for Malaysia Madani's economic recovery and growth. Let's not forget those World Bank projected statistics, 26.2% income gain, that is 9,400 ringgit per capita, should all economic barriers for Malaysian women be removed. This has been Niaga Spotlight with me, Tamina Kausji. See you again next Friday with more business analysis and insights. Here's to a productive week ahead.